What's going on, guys? Graham Marino here with WhatCulture.com. And ahead of Psych 3, This Is Gus, starting next November 18th, next Thursday, starting streaming on Peacock. We're talking to the man that made it all happen himself, Shawn Spencer, James Roday-Rodriguez. James, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, sir. I see that you're wearing a Peacock hoodie. That is not lost on me. You are supporting the brand and the platform. You're in the psych office wearing the swag. So props to you.
Got to show my support. I work mainly with like professional wrestling and WWE, and
Sweet.
they're on Peacock now. So that's how I kind of got the garb and all that other stuff. So kind of works out perfectly. But I actually started watching Psych or I actually started watching professional wrestling because of Psych, because they
Oh,
both aired on
wow.
USA Network. So it actually works out quite perfectly. But, I've been looking forward to this movie for a very long time. And obviously, this is the third installment, second one after, last year and a couple of years before that in 2017. I was talking with Maggie the other day. I asked her something similar. What makes this the most important installment yet? Because everyone seems to be finding their footing. Great story at hand here in this installment. What makes this to you, James, the most important installment yet in the Psych universe as far as the movies go?
Well, we suffered a great loss a few years back when our brother and family member Tim Amundsen suffered a stroke, and it was horrible. It was tragic. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if he was going to be able to make it back. It was a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. And he appears very, very briefly in the first movie. And then also, obviously Lassie came home in the second movie. But in this movie, I think we get a glimpse into just how much better Tim is doing, how much more comfortable he is getting up, back on the horse again. And it really did sort of start to feel like the family was back together again, and Lassiter was back with us again. So I would say for me, the reason that this movie means the most is because not only did Lassie come home, he stretched his legs and started feeling comfortable again. And I think the fans will see and appreciate that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the magic of the show is still there, man. It's crazy to think that it's been 15 years since the show first started back in 2006. Not to age anyone, I said the same thing to Maggie the other day, but it's wild, man. Like, I grew up on the show. I'm 26, so I started watching around the time that I was in middle school, and to watch the movies now is crazy, man. Is it amazing to see how far you guys have come in that time? Both, individually, you're doing a lot of cool stuff now, a lot of other shows and projects and stuff. Everyone else involved in the cast as well. Is it weird to think that it's been 15 years since the show first started and you guys were still making reunions, doing the movies and whatnot?
It's beyond weird, man. I had no expectations when I took that gig back in '05.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been a beautiful, wild, surreal, crazy ride. And it's in our business, it's once in a lifetime, and we all know that. I don't even think, like, if Psych were to start today, I don't think it's physically possible for us to have gone on the same journey. Like, the business has just changed too much. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, with all the different platforms and what is cable and what is not, and how long can a show actually last and still, check all the boxes in a model and all that stuff. Like, I just don't see the path
Yeah.
is there anymore. So, we're all incredibly grateful that it happened. Not only has it happened, but it happened exactly when it needed to happen, so that we could get on this crazy ride. And it never ceases to amaze me. And I've made some of the best friends that I will ever have in my life. The fans are off the hook. They keep getting younger somehow. I don't get it. I don't want to get it, frankly. I just want it to be a crazy, beautiful phenomenon that makes no sense.
Well, kind of going off that, it's funny that you mentioned that because, the show's been on the air for 15 years. You guys really reach a lot of generations of fan, like, younger fans around my age, 20s, 30s, 40s, so on and so forth. Like, this was one of the few shows I actually watched with my parents. They enjoyed every episode. They still watch the movies with me. They love it. And my mom and dad actually still watch they catch on to a million little things. They watch you on that show. So they love you on that show. Is it crazy going back and forth between both shows and playing two different characters? Or is it just kind of you turned up to a 10 a little bit? So it's not really, there's not that big of a difference between Gary Mendez and Shawn Spencer.
I would say there's fundamentally some pretty big differences. which was what appealed to me about taking A Million Little Things. There were a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff that I do on that show that you would never see Shawn do. Although he does get to throw a joke or two out there, he's kind of does provide a lot of the levity on the show. The cancer storyline and just sort of the pathos that goes along with just anybody on that show is definitely a different color. So stepping out of that, going back to Psych is it's a lovely respite, honestly, because I do that show 9.5 months a year, and Psych is like a 2.5 week vacation to Charlie fucking Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or Disneyland or something. And you go on and you play these other roles, and it's good, right? Because you have to keep evolving. You hope as an artist, but a lot of times you'll also grow to appreciate a role that you had before by comparison. And I think as lucky as we all knew we were to be on a show that was successful for an extended period of time, I think for me anyway, I've gained a new appreciation for just how pure and fun it was to play Shawn. Now that I'm playing a role that requires so much more sort of emotional powerlifting.
Yeah, no, two totally different. Yeah, makes sense. No, it's crazy. Just seeing you on both, and it's cool to see kind of going back and forth, because I kind of catch up on that show when I can. So to see you were there and then back with the Psych movies, it's the best of both worlds, which is awesome. And I know, just following your career, you're a big wrestling fan. You were on Raw a number of times, which was awesome. You're a good friend of The Miz. I've interviewed The Miz a bunch, and he speaks about you a lot. I know you guys were involved in a couple different things. Cena's been involved, with the first movie and on the show as well. Miz was on the show, big show, Mickey James, the list goes on. If you could get a wrestler for the next movie for Psych 4, I know I was talking to Steve the other day, and he had mentioned that, I don't know if you were aware of this, but he's like, oh yeah, we're trying to get a big wrestler for the next one. Not sure if you were aware of that, but if you could get anyone that you wanted, who would it be?
Oh, I know who he's talking about. And we're very much on the same page.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much away, because if it were to not happen, I think it would be a bummer, and there would be a lot of disappointed fans out there. But man, oh man, it would be cool if it happened.
Oh, I look forward to it. Like I said, we've had a lot of, you can't get much of that. John Cena being involved with the first one was awesome. So I can only imagine who the next one's going to be. And I look forward to that. But like I said, Psych 3 coming out next Thursday, November 18th on Peacock. It's a great movie. I implore everyone to check it out. But James, I appreciate the time, man. Like I said, I've been following the show since day one. I'm 26 now. It's basically been a big part of my life. And this was, a top 3 bucket list interview for me was to talk to you today, along with Tony Shalhoub and Christopher Lloyd. So to get you crossed off the list here today means a lot, man. The show helped me get through a lot of tough times, both middle school, high school, and ended when I was in college. So it's really been a big part of my life, but I very much appreciate the time, man. And the endless years of entertainment on behalf of both myself and fans, family, friends, and stuff like that. I appreciate it, man.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me, Graham. That's awesome, dude.
Absolutely, James. Take care, man. Best luck with everything in the future. I look forward to seeing you again down the road, man. Have a great day.
You too, man.